See, I was at a friend's wedding recently, and there was this powerful moment at the rehearsal dinner. If you've been in this setting, the rehearsal dinner is where everyone's kind of sharing their words with each other. It's a very special moment. And if you haven't been married or your siblings haven't been married, then you might not understand that even though a wedding is so exciting, it can also be really hard for the parents because they're literally giving their child away. And that's a very emotional moment. So I'm at this friend's wedding, and the mom is giving her speech. The mother of the groom is giving her speech, and she's really feeling it. I mean, she's feeling a lot of emotion, kind of tearful. And she looks at her son and she says something so profound. She says, "Son, although nothing about this feels natural, it doesn't feel natural to give you away. That's a hard thing to do. It is extremely biblical. And so although it doesn't feel natural, man, I rejoice in getting to celebrate this moment because it is biblical." And when I heard that, I thought, wow, that is so true for so many aspects of our life. There are a lot of things in life that are not going to come natural to us, friends, but that are extremely biblical. You see, it's not natural for me to turn the other cheek when someone slaps me across the face, but it's biblical. It's not natural for me to want to go the second mile with someone, but Jesus says, man, if a brother asks you to go 1 mile, go another. It's not natural for me to forgive someone who has hurt me. What's natural for me is to get angry, to get frustrated, to be enraged, to just never talk to that person again. But the Word of God says to forgive 70 times 7. It's not natural for me to want to, resist my sexual temptations or the lust in my heart, but it is biblical. The Word of God says to put to death sexual immorality and lust, to flee from those things. It's not natural for us to even want to live sometimes because we wake up and we feel like a failure and nothing's going our way, and who even are we and what are we even called to do? But it is biblical that your life has meaning and your life has purpose. And so although it doesn't feel natural, because it is biblical, I will step into what I'm called to do. You see, there are going to be some things in your life, friends, that it might be a legitimate reason as to why something feels natural. It might be a legitimate reason as to why you identify with certain things, but I'm going to tell you something that culture will never tell you. Although it may be legitimate, you have those feelings. More legitimate than that is the truth of what God says that you are. Notice something. I didn't say your truth. I didn't say my truth. Because culture would say, yeah, no, your truth. Your truth will set you free. Your truth is what you should follow. My truth is what I should follow. I'm not talking about your truth. I'm not talking about my truth. I'm talking about the truth. You see, one day I Googled because I was trying to find where it said in the Word, and you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. I was like, couldn't remember where that verse was. So I Googled it. And the first thing that popped up on Google was who said the truth will set you free. So I click on it. And there are just all these accounts of these different people in history who have said this quote, "You will know the truth and the truth will set you free." And Jesus was, of course, listed as one of the many that said this quote. And as I read this, I thought to myself, that's not true for anyone else to say. You see, the reason why that quote had power when Jesus said, "And you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free," is because when Jesus said it, he knew he was the truth, and he actually has the power to set you free. He actually has the power to set you free from sin and death. He actually has the power to set you free from shame. He actually has the power to set you free from your confusion. He actually knows he is the truth, he is the way, he is the truth, he is the life, and he is leading you to the Father. He is the way to freedom. The world will say, your truth will do that, but that is a lie. It will not set you free. It doesn't have the power to do that. And that's what we're trying to do, friends. We're trying to take on these big God-like things. See, we want to be our own version of truth. We want to be love. We want to be power. We want to be in control of our life. And we're trying to take on all these attributes of God. But what we're not considering is when you try to carry the weight of who God is, you also have to consider that you got to carry the weight of your sin. And we're not able to do that. And you see, it's the same thing that Eve faced in the garden. See, Eve's out in the garden, and there's this apple, and it was just very alluring to her. She saw this, and she desired this apple. And then the enemy came up to her and said, hey, why don't you take that apple? It'll be fine. You're not going to die. You're going to know good and evil. This is an obvious thing, and you're going to be like God if you do that. And so Eve, looking at that, she said, well, it does look good, and I could be like God. So yeah, I'll do it. And it's that same temptation for us. We want to be like God. We want to be truth. We want to be power. We want to be in control. And so as soon as she took this bite of this apple, she realized, I do know good and evil, but I'm not like God. And she was hit with the weight of her sin. We can't carry that weight. See, my daughter, Honey, she is just the best little girl ever. I'm obsessed with her. If you haven't been able to tell on my social media, she is so fun. She has the best little personality. She is honestly already such an extrovert. That's just like who she is. She loves to sit up. She loves to be on the move. She loves to talk and play and all these things. And so with that little personality, you can probably imagine that Honey James hates the car seat. I'm talking, she hates it. Like when I put her in that car seat, it is the most dramatic thing. It is like, wow, like everything tries to get out of the car seat because she does not like to be strapped in. She doesn't like to be strapped in, and I understand, she's a wiggle worm. And so if Honey could talk, Honey would probably say to me, Mom, let's just be real here. This is not natural for me. This is not working out for me. This is holding me back from who I really am. This is totally constricting me. And so it is my truth now that I don't need a car seat. It would be so much more fun if I could just sit in your lap, we could talk. How freeing would that be? That would be awesome, right? And as her mom, what I don't do is I don't say, oh yeah, you're right. It would be so much more fun for you. You could, not have to be held back. You could be free. We could have fun. It'd be who you are. No, I don't say that. I strap her here, and I strap her there, and then I grab the seatbelt, and I put another strap around her, and then I tighten that as tight as I can, not because I'm trying to hold her back from who she truly is, but because I know what's best for her life. And just because her truth may be different doesn't mean that the effects of a car crash would be any different for her. Just like us, just because we want to say we have a different truth doesn't mean the effects of sin will be any different for us. See, Proverbs says there's a path that seems right to a man, but in the end, it leads to destruction. And we have to trust God enough to know that He knows how He created us. He knows how He made us, and it is with beautiful intention and beautiful design. And I have to say something. There is something amazing about the fact that He did make us all original, all individual, all different. Our kingdom is so diverse, and that is an amazing, amazing gift. I love that my daughter is different than every other baby in the world. I love that I'm different than every other person in the world. I'm an original, and so are you. God didn't make us all the same, and that's an amazing thing. But we can't go find out more about our originality and our identity by who the world says we are, but we have to find that in who God is, who He created us to be, based off the nature of who He is.